gonna test sound here. See if we're on. Testing, testing, testing. Okay, cool. So we are live. All right. So yeah, so I'm making this game, Kottefolket, and I'm also making an editor for the game. Or the thought is that really the editor is going to be more like agnostic for whatever game you want to make, but it does have a time map editor. It's going to have a bunch of different editors, mainly for like 2D games. But yeah, I'm building this tool as I go along to help out with defining different things in the game. So what I have is a time map editor, and I also have an animation editor, but that one is not part of this main sort of program I'm building. So I started out building like different parts of a game editor, I guess you could say, like different programs. So I have an animation program studio and a time map editor, and those two are like separate programs. But what I aim to do here is to bring them together into one program, so that you can have basically like a game editor that's going to be like a game backend agnostic, in that it will only produce like a bunch of JSON files or any kind of, I mean, I've chosen JSON, but any kind of data files that you can then import and use in your game engine. But yeah, it's I mean, it's not really supposed to be like open to public or usable by the public, really. It's mostly for my own amusement and my hobby here, basically. So what I want to do this time is I want to start on making a scene editor. And what is that? A scene editor, what I'm thinking is, well, first of all, it's going to be the most minimal version that you can think of, basically. So it's not going to have a lot of different features, but it's basically just going to be... So, okay, let me just explain what it is. So, if you're familiar with Unity or Unreal Engine or whatever, in those game engines, you can build scenes, or I forget what it's called in Unreal Engine. Maybe it's the same, but anyway, it's like one level or one part of the game, I guess, and you can drag in a bunch of entities. Like if you're making a 2D game, you can drag in like background images, like tile maps. You can drag in monsters or whatever you want. So basically building the game in the scene. So that's what I aim to do with this scene editor. However, the first version is basically going to be super simple. So I'm basically going to hard code the tile map. So the tile map is going to be hard coded, I think. At least that's what I'm initially believing here. But I know that what I need to have is support for adding entities. So you want to be able to create entities. So we're gonna have basically a list of entities, and they are going to have a position and a type. So this is super simple in the beginning. I'm gonna expand on this later, but this is, and that's basically it for the scene. It's like you're gonna have a position and a type. And I also think that I want to have I want to be able to set like a graphic for the entity so that you can see what it is like visually in the scene. So basically, and basically the type is going to be very hard coded to the game right now. So that's just going to be like a string right now. It's a string which can be something like this for the monster, and you have the player, and maybe you can have the time map. And so that's like, and that's why maybe time map is not hard coded. Well, it's gonna be hard. Maybe the kind of graphic for it is gonna be hard coded. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say that the graphic is hard coded for each type. So we're gonna have graphic, and if it's cleat, it's gonna be, I mean, something from the cleat sprite. If it's the player, it's gonna be something from the player sprite. If it's, whoops, if it's the time map, then I think we can build a little like draw like a texture. Because right now, how I draw the time map in the editor is I basically draw every tile over and over. It's not like it caches the actual image that the tile becomes, or that the time map becomes. It's drawing every tile every frame. But what I want for this, well, I guess I could do the same thing, I guess. How I do it in the game is, well, I divide it up into layers, and that's actually also a little bit, but actually, yeah, I think maybe I would like to draw the time map just onto an image and then draw it, and then use that image to draw the time map. But I think that I can start with just using draw time map on that position. So that's basically the simplest way to do it right now. I don't need to think about the optimization there. Okay, unless it's like really slow, but I don't think it will be really, since I'm doing it that way right now and it's not really slowing that slow. Okay, but anyway, so this is basically the first kind of iteration that I want to create for this scene editor. And then of course I'm gonna add that you can delete entities, you can move them around, but I just want something that you can sort of create entities. Maybe I'm thinking about how you would do it, but because I think normally in like an editor, maybe you like drag in from sort of an assets library or something else, so you drag in something and you create an entity from that, and then you can move it around to position it where you want it to be. And that's kind of how I want to be able to use this as well. So the whole purpose of this is to make it easier to place things around and get visual feedback and see where it actually ends up. Okay, so I think, yeah, I'm gonna have to decide on a way to create this entity, so we can always change that later, but I think we'll start with the capability of creating entities, so we can always like programmatically do it from the start and then figure out some kind of user interface way to do it later. So we can start with this right now. So what we need is also we need some sort of scene document, and I have some basic like document structure in this editor, but now is the real test of actually maybe fleshing that out and making it usable for several different things. For right now it's just time maps, but now we're gonna have scenes as well. And what did I think of as well? Yeah, I guess we'll start there and we'll see how it goes. Yeah, we're gonna have this is gonna be also like, the thing is right now, I think what we wanna do is we want to be able to have like, because right now we have like a context, so we want to make the context basically have a broader view. Like the context, like what is the context? So the context is basically like the global state that you have, that is basically passed around to every function, so you always have access to all of the things in the context. And so the context is really like a global state, and the editor right now it's sort of based around tile maps, and so I need to adjust the context to be more agnostic on what kind of documents it's got open and what you can do with that and so forth. So we need to, I think we want to do that. Yeah, we want to adjust the context, make the context document type agnostic. Maybe a good way of saying it, I don't know, maybe a really bad way of saying it. Okay, but make context, I'm gonna do it like this to have it like yeah, so the context is gonna be the context, yeah, it's gonna be like yeah, agnostic to whatever document type you have open, and maybe we'll have separate types of context for different documents. So that, yeah, it's a bit more complicated than I first thought, but maybe I will just skip it, because my first thought also was that I'll just skip this part and make a new editor, just a new, maybe make a whole new context instead, or maybe I have everything inside the document that's gonna be needed for this. Yeah, maybe that's the play here. So all right, let's see if we don't have anything here. We do have documents. Okay, so I think that I want to create a new kind of document here. You can see we have time map document here, but now we want to have scene document as well. So let's create one of those. Scene. All right, and well, in the time map document, you basically have the data and history of whatever you've done. So I'm not gonna include history right now, I don't think. I'm just gonna make it the simplest thing possible here. So the document, you have to think about, like, okay, so we basically have the data for the scene, and the data needs to be basically serializable. So so we're gonna have basically, I guess the scene, and we'll make this a scene. So I'll put this in here for now, but I'll move this out later. So this is gonna be the data, and this is just gonna be like a serializable type thing. So this is gonna have all the entities in it. So we'll have an entity or entities here. And I think if we check the time map here, I think for lists we just use unmanaged array list for those. So let's do that. So we'll have this one, array list, and the entity is going to be, I'll just name this a scene entity for now. And so the entity, okay, so the entity, as we said in our to-do here, is going to have position, type, and The graphic doesn't really need to be in the data itself. That's just to show like what type of thing it is. So we'll have position, which is a vector, and the vector is that. Why is that not working? Oh yeah, because I think I've made this sort of test here to actually have sort of a library, like a global thing that you always import the same way, no matter where you are in the file tree, like the SIG file. So if you want to import vector, you would have to type this before, but now it's not in the same folder, so you have to go back. Oh, it's not there either, so you have to go back 2 times. And that's quite cumbersome if you're gonna, for example, move files around and stuff like that. So what I did was I put stuff in the root file. So the root is a special sort of directive or whatever. It's a special sort of import, like a special module, and it always points to the main, like where your main function is, I guess, in the project. So, or the entry point, I should say, in the project. And from here I have a pub const lib where I import a lib.sig. So I make that publicly available from the root file. And from here I have a whole bunch of different, so in here I basically import all of the like common things that I want to expose to everything. And yeah, so you get basically all the different, and here I have like a sub, also a sub structure here, I guess, that you can also access. So so basically now to get vector you just do root lib, and this you don't need to change this from wherever you're in the project itself. So that's very nice. So in here I have like you can see here a whole bunch of different stuff that I want to be able to easily import and use throughout the project. So that's a bit nicer to actually import when making new files. All right, so now we have position. The other thing that we needed was a type, and I'm just gonna name this scene entity type, and I will make this here as well, and that's gonna be a enum, and this type is gonna be yeah, it's just gonna be these 3 things. Oh yeah, and also MPC and tile map. Okay, so that's gonna be the things that you can add. So as you can see, this is like very simple and super hard coded right now, but that's how I want to start with this. So, and the thought is then that when we export this into a JSON, the game will then be able to read in these different types of things, and it will have a position, and that's basically all you need right now to be able to create these things. So I think then in the future I may want to extend this scene entity thing to have, I mean, to keep it like sort of agnostic about sort of the game engine or whatever. I want to be able to maybe define some sort of metadata structure, or yeah, be able to define sort of a schema that you can use to pass around and define for different entities. And maybe you can like have like the concept of components, and have entities have different components. You can also have that, but in the end it's all gonna be exported into some JSON which is then going to be read into a game, which then will interpret the data to create the sort of game that you've designed there. So okay, anyway, that's kind of the idea there. So it's a bit different from the modern sort of editors that you have today, where you can, or I guess both modern and not modern, where everything is baked into one thing and you press play and you can play the game directly. Here is basically more like, I guess more like a tool for developers to be able to define these things easily and then import them to the game, and you can just use the data directly however you want. Okay, and that also means that there's not going to be any like I mean, I don't think there's going to be any scripting language or anything like that in this editor. It's just going to be super simple, basically. Well, we'll see how it develops, but that's kind of the vision for it, I guess. Okay, so right now we have our entities, we have our scene, and the document. So yeah, I think so. Okay, so what we need now is basically a way to enter this editor, I guess. Well, we can hard code it, I guess, for now. Because if I'm gonna add like this, a way to like, because if I run this now and just show you how it works right now. So you enter this, and this is basically a hard coded, you could say, to just work with time-lapse right now. And what I want is basically I'm not sure like how the UI would look for different, I mean, I'm gonna check. I think what I would need to do is like these things, I need to like change a bunch of things around here to make it like seamless with different types of documents that you have open and stuff like that. So this is more like, I guess this is going to be more like maybe a project type thing instead of different, although I don't know. Yeah, I would have to think about like the whole project structure and stuff as well, because you're gonna have sort of an assets library as well. So you're gonna have assets that you can take in and that you can do stuff with, just like with Unity and Unreal Engine. Yeah, but that's software in the future. So I think what I want to do is I want to, oh yeah, that's a good, like, yeah. So the assets also, what kind of entities can you create? So these are the actual entities that you can create. But then the time app is basically going to be hard coded. So basically if we create a function here, that's going to be like, so this is going to be like get graphics, get entity graphics, or graphic, or graphic. And this is, or graphics, I guess. This is going to be so you get a scene entity. Oh yeah, and these probably are going to have an ID as well. So I'll just add that right now, because I think that's very important to remember as well. Also, yeah, it's serializable. We would like that, yes. Yeah. And yeah, so this is going to be fully serializable in JSON later as well. Right. We also need to define like serialize and like a serialize the serialization for scene document, but I'll get to that. And because I've done a little thing of that, like a helper for that. So this one is taking a scene entity, and then we'll return, I mean, I guess a texture 2D. lib. Okay. So what are we doing here is let's see. Okay, I was just checking something here. Okay, so what are we doing here? So we're basically gonna switch on the entity. I guess we could have like a draw function as well. Yeah, I guess, but let's just do this. So we'll switch on entity dot type, and if it's this one, we're gonna do that. So I think probably because we need to load in these things as well then. So I'll just make a load function here. And I'll have these in different things here. So this will be texture. And we have player. And then what's the NPC and timer. Okay, and then load, taking self scene documents, and we'll just load all these in. So this will be load texture. And I think, do we have like assets root somewhere? Yeah. So that's gonna be like, yeah, assets root. So this is not actually public available. So I think I'll put that in a config thing. So this is the config, and we'll make this public. Get screen size could also be here. I guess all of this could be in here. Okay. And then I guess this could be public as well, so that you can always get the config as well. Okay, and what's happening here? Yeah, so this is now config. I can just use repeat here, but okay. Okay, so now we have that, and we can go in here and we can do, we can grab config from there, and we can say config assets root plus, and then we need to say, I think just this. And then we have player texture, player, I forget what it's called, might be player, might be something else. Oops. This is, I think, no, this is copy call. And then time map is going to be tile, wait, Oh yeah, this is a bit different. So we'll have, I think this is tile set initial. So that's not the time map texture, that's the tile set texture. And then the time map texture, I think we basically don't have that. Excuse me. Yeah. So this, I think instead of doing get graphics, I think we just draw this, draw entity, and if it's this type, we're gonna draw that. If it's this type, we're gonna draw that, and so forth. So here we're gonna do draw texture. I think we're gonna need to define like the source rectangle because it's a sprite sheet. So I think this should be enough, or maybe it's better to use this to be able to specify like origin and stuff. Okay. So this one is going to be, oh yeah, we need self here as well. This one is going to be this. And you just need a constant there. Okay, and then the source is going to be, I think it's just going to be like the top left, if I recall correctly. Source rectangle is going to be 0, 0, and I think it's 32 by 32. And the destination is going to be, I guess it's going to be the same. And then, wait, no. It's not going to be the same. It's going to be the, but we need to specify the position here. So this is going to be entity position 0. Is this F or is this floating? Yes. Okay, so we need to do float. And position 1. Okay, and then the width and height is going to be 32 by 32. Oh, that's going to be included with the scale. Okay, so we'll also define the scale here because we want to scale by like 4, I believe. Let's just make this F32. Well, actually, yeah, let's just make this F32 for now. That should be fine. Okay, the origin is going to be like half of the, I believe it's going to be, we can modify it if it doesn't match, but this is going to be like half of the height, so it's going to be like 16 by 16. Or negative, I don't remember, but the rotation is 0, tint is nothing, so it will be white there. Alright, and these are going to be scaled, so this is going to be times the scale. Okay, so the destination rectangle determines where the texture will be drawn onto the canvas, so this will be the position and this is the size. Okay, and then source is like where in the sprite sheet are we grabbing it from, and the origin is just to nudge the drawing a little bit depending on where the center of your sprite is. Actually, this could be different. Well, we'll just do it like this for now. Okay, so that's for that one. Now we can grab this one. So this is basically gonna be the same thing. I'm just gonna double check the dimensions of the player. So is it called player? What is it called? Well, I'll just grab. Well, it's good to know actually. It's called Pissling, of course. Let's open that, and it's gonna be, I believe, yeah, 16 by 32. So this is 16 width, 32 height. I guess what you could do, you could, I mean, this doesn't really matter, but you could specify a height and use that or a size and use that instead to make it a little bit more. Okay, so we have that. So now this one is going to be the player texture, and I will just change this to be called Pissling. Alright, and then we also need, so that should be it for that. Now the next one is NPC. So this has the exact same things or dimensions, it's just different texture. And also if you look at the graphics, well, you can see it right now. I'm just gonna open up the card here, and oh yeah, so this is a bit different. It's gonna be 32 by 32 there. Actually, I forgot that it was different. They look the same, so that's why I thought it was the same. Well, they look almost the same, but they have like the same size in like human proportions, but Kotikal has a weapon that he holds, and though his sprite is a bit bigger. Okay, and let's see, so that's that. Did I rename this? Yes. And then I think the origin needs to be like shifted a little bit, but I don't. Let's just shift it by like 8 maybe to the right there, and yeah, that should be good. Okay, so we got those. Now we also have the tile map as well, and this one will be a bit different then. So this one would be not this, it will be draw tile map. But we need to, yeah, we don't actually have the actual tile map structure, that's right. Yeah, we need to figure this out, so we should grab draw tile map. Do we have that? No, where is that? Draw tile map. Is, oh, it's, wait, why didn't I get, oh yeah, so because I didn't enter this file here. Draw tile map is from draw tile map, yes, so it's not in lib. Oops. No, so we can add it here as well. Draw tile map. So that will make it available here. Okay. And now we can use that. But we need an actual time map to draw as well. And we need, oh, we also need context, apparently. Oh yeah, we need the, okay. So why do we need the context in here. Textures. Okay, yeah. So maybe it's better to have it like this instead. I mean, I guess we could have the time map loaded in the background and then have the scene basically living on top of everything. So let's actually work with the context here. So we'll grab the context here, and the context is there, or it's not. I think we should make this available. I wonder how this deals with like circle dependencies, because we have a bunch of them right now. I guess it seems to work. Okay, let's go back to scene, and now we have context. Oops. So actually, then we don't need this text, the tile set texture. We do need the other ones though. Okay, so the context. Now we have the context. Okay, so now what? Right, so now, well, we can draw the oh yeah, we can also specify a position, so that's good. I wonder if that position is, well, I guess we'll figure it out. If it's absolute, or I mean, if it's like the center of the time map, or if it's the top left. But it could very well might be top left. And in the game, I think I actually draw it from the center and not from like the top left. So it's gonna be different, like the position is gonna be different. But we could always translate it, I guess, but I don't want. Okay. I think, yeah, we'll figure it out. So the position is going to be entity.position. Okay. So now we have these 4 different ways of drawing the entities, and we have a list of entities in this scene file. We can this can be easily serialized and deserialized. Okay. And so I was thinking if we're gonna implement serialization and deserialization right now, but I don't think we need to do that right now. I think what I want to do is sort of enable the scene editor now. So what we'll do, I think if we go to layout, because this is where all the UI stuff is happening. So we have a bunch of stuff to do here with camera, screen size. So really this camera is actually, we should have like a different camera for each like document that's open, but I'm not gonna worry about that right now. We do have clear background be in 2D mode. Yeah, and then this is where the time map comes in. So we have size, we have rect, we have draw time map right here, and this is 0, 0. Okay, so it might actually be from the center. Well, we'll see. And then we have tools, and we have end mode, and here we have. So this is basically, this is where the tile map and stuff like that is drawn. But we only want to do that if our current like sort of mode is tile map, or our focus document is the tile map. So I think what I'll do, just to make this very simple for now, I'm gonna have this called mode, editor mode, which is gonna be scene right now. So this will just be an editor mode, very simple thing right now. Union and mode will, or yeah, this is gonna have scene and, or not union, is now, and then time app, and then oh yeah, not semicolon there. Okay, so now we have that, and here we're gonna say if the mode is time map, then we do all this stuff. Okay, I guess we can break it out as well. So this would be like draw time map document, I guess. Here, and we need context. Okay, so if we're in here, then we do draw time map document. Okay, and then we do, and then we want to have draw scene document, I guess. Right? Yes. And so also we do want to have, right, so I have current project and stuff like that. This is not really used right now, but it's sort of the beginnings of making a project structure and stuff like that. But we'll not worry about that for now. I'm just gonna horseshoe this in here somewhere. So file here we have the file data. That's basically like just a time map right now. It's a time map. So actually we probably want to say tile map document here instead. And then this one is actually a tile map document. There. Okay. So that's that, and then I'm just gonna shoehorn this in here. We're gonna have a scene document. Let's put it up there, and this is now this. Is it not public, or wait? Where did I put this? Oh, okay. I put this in a weird. Oops. I put this in a weird position. So this is gonna be document slash scene slash document. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Wait. Okay, there we go. And we go back here, and now we should have this. No? It is public. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Let me try restarting LSP. Okay. Right. Yeah, so now we need a scene document. Let's put it undefined for now. Okay, so let's go back to layout where we draw the scene. So we're gonna, I think, yeah, we have the scene document. Now we have like, we have all our entities. So I guess what we'll just do is we'll go through our entities, and we can say scene document draw entity. Yeah, we can do that. Okay. Cool. So an issue now is that, oh yeah, I was gonna say an issue now is that we don't actually have a scene document yet, but yeah, we can create one. And then also the menu we need to change as well, but we'll get to that. So let's deal with this first. So we need to create a scene document. Let me check where we are doing this. Oh yeah, that's gonna be like in the load function for drawing, or yeah, when we're opening files and stuff like that. So I think whenever we do that, this is going to be a bit like, the editor is going to be in a bit weird sort of state, because whatever tile map you have open is going to be the tile map that you actually have in the scene. So I think for now we'll just initialize this here. We don't even have init function, so let's create that. There, and our scene is going to be scene, so we'll need an init function here as well. And this is going to be array list scene entity init, and I guess empty buffer for now. Okay. Then yeah, the scale, well, we don't need to specify the scale. And then the, actually, you know what, since we have the context here, we don't need the scale. Need context.scale instead. And this one is, oh, it's I32. Okay, well, let's just replace all these for now. There was only 3 things for that. Okay. And these we need to do float from int context scale. Okay. There we go. Oh yeah. As F32. Okay, and we'll do the same thing there, same thing there. Okay. I mean, I know that it can be a way neater here, but this is just throwaway code anyway, so I'm not gonna worry about it. But right, and then these textures we can basically just say equals undefined. Okay. So let's do initialize. Okay. Oh, right. And this one for now is not gonna be a pointer. It's gonna be like that. But we'll change that later. But I just want to get this working first. So now we have that. Now we also need to call the load function here, because all these textures need to be loaded in before we can do stuff. Let's also add the initialize function, because we want to unload these textures now as well. Oops, let's just do no texture, and this is player NPC. Okay, and now we go back here, the initialize, we'll do self dot scene document initialize. Okay, and what's going on here? Further length specified with underscore. Oh, there. Okay, so when defining a slice like that, an empty slice, you have to be use reference there. Okay, so now the context. Yeah, so now the context needs to load. We need to have call load somewhere here. So I think maybe somewhere where we open like the time map. So when we restore, yeah, we call this one. So this one I think will be where we actually open, or actually we could do it in restore itself, I guess. Yeah, so let's just call this here, and I'll just mark this. Well, I don't really need to mark it, I can look at that later. So this will gonna be self scene document dot load. Okay, and so now we have, now we should load in all those textures. Oops. That's right, we don't have this anymore. But we have it here, okay. So now we should have all these textures. And let's also now, oh yeah, also the origin here needs to be scaled, I just remembered. So actually, let's just make this scale like this, so we have it everywhere instead. Code from it, so we don't need to convert it like this every time. There, and then these are also gonna be scaled, I believe. Okay, this should be scaled, and this is also scaled. Oops. Oops. There. Okay. Now let's go to layout. So I mean, if we had a scene now, we should be able to see it, but with the scene is not defined, and we don't have a way of adding entities in the editor itself. So I think I will start by programmatically adding some stuff to the scene. So what we could do is just say, I want entity, I want to add an entity with our allocator, and the item is gonna have position 00, and the type is gonna be timer. Okay. Oh yeah, so that's actually a pointer. Okay, let's just do that. This is allocator dot create scene entity. Now we need to actually import that as well. And catch unreachable, so we don't deal with the error there. And then yeah, and then this will be this and this. Okay, and then this is also catch unreachable. Okay, so now we should have an entity. Oh yeah, ID. We don't have. So let's do just initialize. I think this, does this randomize one? Yeah. Okay. Right. So let's try this now. We should see a tile map being drawn. No. Okay. So okay, it's not been drawn. Let's check the scene document. And wait, let me check. Do I actually have? Yeah, so we have this time map open. We should see it, but we are not. So let's check. Are we actually calling this function? No, we are not. So that might be a clue. Yes, so we have here. So let's do a switch on this one. And we'll just rearrange this a little bit here. If we have a scene, we'll draw the scene. Okay. And now we probably maybe get some errors here, yeah. Because we are compiling things that we didn't do before. And this one, oh yeah, this is items because it's an array list. Expected. Okay, so this one should wait. No. Oh, it expects this. Okay. Fine. Let's see. Should be fine to do that. Okay, there we go. Now we got this thing here. And yeah, so now we're actually in the scene rendering mode. And if we start to add a bunch of entities here, we should see them also popping up. So let's do that. Let's go to context. And here we add another entity. So we'll add like the player. And the position, I guess we can do in the center as well, to just see where the player ends up, I guess. And so this will be a player. Okay, so let's see. No, I don't see anything. Okay. Did we append it? No. Okay, I forgot to append it as well. This is the player. Yes. Alright, let's see now. Oh, there we go. Oh, so he ended up in like the top left corner. So it's drawn in the center. Well, the origin is at the top left like corner, but the actual position is up here. So okay, because in the game the position is 0, 0 is like in the center here, but in the editor 0, 0 is like at the top left corner, so that's different. So I think, and then yeah, because it doesn't make sense to have like a top left 0, 0, I guess. Well, I mean, it just depends on how you want your coordinate system to work, I guess. But I think I would rather have the 0, 0 to be like in the center of the world. And when drawing, so when modifying a time map, it makes sense to have like maybe 0, 0 at the top left. But when having making a scene, it's I think it's better. Okay, so let's figure out how to do that. Because the thing is, where is 0, 0? I mean, 0, 0 is just 0, 0. I think maybe actually probably just gonna change the way we draw the time map then, because the time map is drawn from 0, 0 to bottom left here, and the player is actually drawn correctly at 0, 0 in the center, like the center of the player is at 0, 0. So it's actually the time map that we need to change, like drawing off the time map. So let's go over here, and I believe maybe we can introduce like maybe some flag here that like draw how do you say it, the origin maybe. I guess we'll have origin. I mean, I guess the position, we can just alter the position from outside as well. So let's do position is going to be, so we need to calculate the size of the time map. So the size, time map size is going to be, whoops, wait, oh yeah, time map document. And it's going to be time map grid size. No, that's just a vector. Okay. And so that's the grid size. So that's like 35 by whatever, 17 or whatever it was. And then we times that by the tile size, so that's like 16 by 16 or something. And then we also do scale as well, and that's yeah, that should be the same data type, but this is a scalar, so we need to make a vector. Wait, we have this already. We have it in scale V. This is a vector, yeah. Okay, so now we should have like the full time map size, but then we also want to divide it by half. So this is going to be 0.5. All right, and the position is going to be this plus, or is it minus? Well, we'll see. The time map size. Well, this is actually half the size, I guess. There, and we'll pass that into the position. Yes. No, it's going to be negative. Yeah, it's going to be negative. We need to move it to the up left. Oh. Right. So we need to divide it by 2. Can we do that? Or do we need to... Because this is interesting, like if you use divide, I guess it depends on like how we vectorized it, but if you use divide in SIG with integers, it complains like normal integer, and this is vectors. If you do normal integers, it's gonna complain like because you need to use like div one of these, but here you don't because it's a vector, I guess. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but we'll see if this works. Yeah, there we go. So now this is drawn. Okay, you can see here that where the highlight is like where I'm editing. This is like the other editor, like the time map editor. So it's like top left 0, 0, and down here is top or bottom right of the timer. But yeah, so the player is drawn in the middle now. So I mean, the most important thing here is to we want to show where things are drawn, or where things are gonna end up, I guess. And so let's try adding some monsters now. So, or yeah, we'll just add one. And it's gonna be like let's do, so this position is, wait, yeah, this position should also be scaled in the actual drawing. But let's do that later. So the position is scaled. That means that each tile is like 16. So this is not like a grid position. This is like, maybe it should be a grid position actually. Well, let's not shackle ourselves there. So we'll do 16. That's like the tile size. And well, this is just temporary code anyway. Let's just move this guy to the right a bit. So 16 by 8. Okay, and then down a couple of tiles and see where it ends up. And then this is going to be add cleat. And then I also need to go to the scene document and change these positions are also going to need to be scaled as well. So there. Okay. Oops. Oh, and now it changes this. Okay. Position. So what you could do is you can do, let's say these are F30. So what you can do is you can do this and then float from int position, and now you'll end up with a casted vector, and you can do this instead. Yeah. Or this, I mean. Yeah. Okay, let's do that. There. And then this one also needs to be scaled. Scale. There we go. Oh. Oh wait. Oh, that's okay. So this is that. Because I don't think this position is scaled later on. Or maybe it is. Oh, it is. Okay. So we don't need to scale that. There we go. Okay, so now we should see a monster here. And there we go. So now we have this monster here. Okay. Okay. So, I mean, I guess that's like very close to be having all of the things that we wanted. We have a scene document. We don't, well, we sort of have this, but it's not like fully implemented. I'm just gonna disable this for now, or remove that. So, I mean, I guess technically we have a way to create entities programmatically, but we don't have a way to create entities like in the UI, which is what I really want to have. So, and then I also want to, yeah, well, it's gonna be a multi-part thing here, basically. So, well, we do have the basic structure. We do have position, type, and graphics. So this all works out. Yeah, we even have NPC as well. There. Okay. And we have this. Okay. I'm curious how this actually, the enum gets serialized into JSON. I guess we'll see that as well. So, yeah, what I want is now to figure out a way to, how do we figure out the UI to actually create these entities now. So I guess we'll start by disabling the other UI for now. So we'll just, so this is like tools and stuff, yeah. So I think also the demo window, whatever. This part, I'm gonna say, if we're gonna have a switch here for context mode. If we have time map, then we want to do all this, which we should probably put into a function as well. So this would be like tile map document menu, and we need the context. Okay, that's it. So this would be tile map document menu, context. Okay, and then we have the scene. So this is going to be the scene document menu, which we don't have. So we need to define that. Okay. Right, so let's make this an errorable, and I guess we could do that. Make the compiler happy. Okay. Right, so now we don't have anything here. And I also want to disable this part as well. So if, yeah, this is going to be same for everything. So I'm just going to say, I guess we'll do try here as well. Whoops. Try context mode. Scene document. Handle input. and time map, the time map document handle input. Okay. And we'll search for handle input. Oops. And then this one will be time map document handle input. All right. And we also want to define scene document handle input. Okay. So clean slate here, basically. This is starting to shape up in some sort of structure, so that's nice. So if we run this, we should get like nothing but the actual thing here. We can't we don't even have camera controls right now, but that's fine. We can always add that in. So I think what we'll do is we'll make these camera controls, and then put these in here, and we'll call this from here camera controls, and now we can simply, oh yeah, we need context. And now we can simply call this from here. We should also have camera context in the scene. There we go. We can zoom and we can do that. Okay. Okay, yeah, I dropped my thought there a little bit. Yeah, just 1 second here. Excuse me. All right, we're back. Okay, so what's next? I think maybe I want to try to have like a drop-in thing. So similar to the time app, I'm just gonna add like a side window here and add a bunch of different things there. So let's go to this part. Okay. Well, we don't have use for the context yet, so let's go in here. This one, I want to have basically the same thing here. Yes. So this will create a window. Where is it? Here? And this is the menu, so I guess we could say scene. Now we should have a sidebar. Yeah. And the height is not set to... Well, I guess it doesn't really matter that much. I would rather have it like the entire screen, but I'm not gonna bother with that right now. Okay, so then I think we just wanna have like a list of all the types that you can add, and then you can be able to drag them in. Maybe we can even have graphical representations of those things, and that's probably gonna reside in like some sort of assets library later, perhaps. Yeah. And but for now, I think I want to have, maybe I'll even skip the tile map. Tile map is like automatically brought in, maybe as a start. But yeah, let's just put these in here. So we can do inline 4, because I think that we have seen, actually, where do we have this? Oh, we're not using lib here. Let's convert this to this lib format. Lib, and this is tools. This is just lib dot. Okay, and then we have like scene. I forgot what it's called now. Scene. Oh, we don't have that in lib, so we should put that in there. We do have document. We should, maybe we can have like documents like this, documents, and then this would be tile map, and then this would be scene, like that. And then here we're gonna have scene. Wait. Yeah, we should have a bunch of scene stuff now. Lib.scene. No? Oh yeah. Documents.scene. Okay, there we go. So entity type. So this is gonna be entity type. And go back to where we were. There. Entity type, and I think here we can say, so we can say inline 4, so that's basically like a comp time version of 4. So we can, because we have a type here which has which is an enum. So what you can do is, I believe meta, the meta module has, you can do tags on the type to get, yeah, given an enum or error set type, returns a point to an array containing all tags for that enum or error. So here we get this tag, and this is now the tag. Yeah. So wait, it's a scene entity type. Yeah, so we get each of these, and then I guess you could do draw entity. Maybe we'll break this out to be, well, actually, yeah. Okay, so two things, or one thing here is now we need to draw this image in imgui context. So we can't just use raylib to draw it because it's going to be drawn separately, I believe. So what we need to do is we need to look at, for example, this thing, because in here we're drawing a bunch of tiles on top of the window, and we are doing that somewhere here. Yeah, so I'm using this one, which is sort of raylib ingui. This is like a C library which combines ingui with raylib, and you can draw an image doing like this. So you pass a texture and you do pointer cast, and it just works. I was a bit afraid to use this, but it seems to work. And also the rectangle is, I mean, I think this uses like the same sort of structure, so it's safe to bitcast, but you know, it feels a bit weird to do this, but it works. So I think, yeah, you can do that. Now let's go back here. Right, so we can do this, and then we need to grab the texture as well, and we also need the source rect. So this is gonna be, let's actually go here and break out some of these things, because we need to have them separate things. So we need to have the source rectangle, we need to have the texture. So let's do get entity type texture, or yeah, get texture from entity type, I guess you call it. And we need a scene document for that, because that's where we have our textures. And then we need the entity type, which is going to be scene entity type. And then we'll get back, let's just make it a pointer here. And so this will just return a, we'll do switch on entity type, and we'll say the different things here. So this one will be this, and this one will be this one will be this, and we don't really have one for the tile map, so I'm just gonna return, I'm just gonna do unreachable there, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay, so that's the texture. And then we also need the source rectangle. Get source rectangle from entity type. Entity type. And all, basically all of this is going to be basically throwaway code, but I just put it here to make it work right now. Okay, so the source is just, yeah, that's a raylib rectangle. Okay. And we'll do the same thing here. And then this. So this is gonna be, I'll just do this for now. Yeah, I'm just gonna copy these. And the NPC. There. Okay. And then, yeah, same for the time up here. We don't have a rectangle there. Self is not used. Fine. So that's that. And now I guess we can use it here instead. So this can be self, get source rectangle, texture. Oh, actually, no. Because if it's a time app, it doesn't have the same. Okay, whatever. So now we can use these from outside. So now we can say source is going to be scene document. Oh, I forgot to make this public. There. And this is going to be get source rectangle. And this is going to be, I think, the tag. Yeah. And then we also need the texture. Texture. Okay. So now we need to define the size as well. Oh yeah, and the size could also be from here. So let's make that as well. I mean, I guess you could make like a, instead of doing this, you can make it like an intermediate structure to return everything depending on your needs and stuff. But I don't think we really need to do that much here because it's, as I said, it's throwaway code anyway, so it's fine. So this is going to be the size. Yeah, and the size is just a vector. I think we'll do this. Should be fine. The Rayleigh vector 2, and these are the sizes. So that's like the original size. Then you need to scale it as well. So we'll do tag and then scale size. Context scale v, except we need to convert it. So this is going to be a f32. Because this is, oh no, wait, this is a Rayleigh vector, so it doesn't even have, yeah, the Rayleigh vector is not a sig vector, so you can't do this. I mean, you could do like dot scale or multiply, but in my experience, this is actually leaking stuff, so, I mean, at least I think. So I'm just gonna do vector 2 size x times scale, and this is float from. Okay, and then this is going to be scale size 0. No, scale size x, scale size y. Yeah. Oh wait, those are ints. Okay. So, wait. Okay. So then, okay, so then we'll do vector, because that's int type for me, and then we'll do, wait, I mean, fuck it. Let's just do this. So let's just do int from float, size x and size y. Right, and then we scale this by complex.scale v as a vector. And then we can do 0 and 1 for x and y, or width and height. And the source is called source rect. There. Okay, let's do that. Okay. No more errors, so let's run. So now it crashes. Okay. Unreachable. Okay. Get it. Oh, yeah. So since we're going through all of the tags here, we don't want to go with. Okay. So basically, if tag, can you do equals? Is equal, yeah. So if it's a time map, then we don't want to do this. Okay, so we can't do it like that. Comp time. Yeah, so this is runtime. Okay. So how would you do this? I guess. No, because the thing is, this inline is gonna like generate, sort of, so to speak, one of these blocks for each tag in this enum. So if you look at this, for each of these, it's gonna like make a copy of this block for each of those entries, and then this tag is gonna be the new thing. So what I'm thinking was, if I could just add an if here to check. I mean, I feel like this should be possible, right? And it will just skip that one. Why is that not possible? Because it feels like this should be comp time, right? Or maybe it's not. It's produced in comp time. But here we have like a break. Okay. I mean, I guess maybe we could try this. So if it feels like this is like the same thing. If it's not timer, does that work? Huh. Okay. Weird. Okay. Let's see if that works. Okay. That looks like it works. This is what we've done now. So we have a bunch of different, maybe we don't need to scale it that much, but we have these images now, but we can't do anything. So my idea is that to be able to create entities, you draw them in like this. So let's figure that out. So I think, yeah, I think I need to go to the documentation for what's it called? ImGui. Let me bring up my browser. Okay, let's do it like this. Okay, so yeah, ImGui draw, drag and drop. Alright, this is like within the same thing. Or maybe they show... Are you drawing it outside? No? Okay. So, oh yeah, so we have a drop source. So this is kind of like, well, in web development, this is sort of like exactly the same way how it works. You have a drop source, which is, and target. So the target is like where you can drop. Source is where you can drag from, I think. Or the other way around, I guess. Okay, so basically, and then you can have like IDs that you move around. And this one, you have payload. Okay, set payload. So this is where you, yeah, this is the source. Yeah, that makes sense. So this is like the button that's actually the sort of thing that you click on to drag. Anchor. I don't know what this is. Anchor.data. Maybe it's not related. Where's anchor coming from? Okay, I don't know. But and then you have this. So you set begin and then end there, and here you have a target. Right. So this is if you have it like in the same list, but I want to have it like outside. So I guess we can just do begin drop target in like, yeah, the outside area. I'm not sure if ImGui needs to have it like always in a window though. Because the scene graphic is not drawn in a window. I guess we can see if we can try it, because I mean this like how would it know the position of the drop target? I guess maybe we could just have a drop source and then have that you drag it out. And then you don't really care about the drop target. You just manually hack it in, basically. But yeah, let's copy this, I guess, and go back here. Let's hide that. Okay. Oops. What's this? Then end. And this is gonna be, I think this should have like drop. No, drag, drop, drag. Okay, begin source. Then we have a whole bunch of stuff here. Okay, I'm not gonna bother with that. I don't know about anchor data. So set drag drop payload. That we probably, yeah, or I mean, that's if you want to work with the drag drop system. I think we can just have our own state for that. So let's just not bother with that, and then I'll just put you in there. Okay. And then here we have end source. Okay. So let's see how this looks when you try to drag. Okay, now it disappeared. Is it just... wait. Oh, okay, so that's... wait. Okay, I guess we'll do this, is how I see it in the documentation. Okay. I think it crashed, yeah. Let's see what happened. Assertion failed. Can I open this? Okay, I just need to convert this. Oops. And I believe this is, yeah. Let's open that. And what was it? Line 13,000. Okay. Source allow null ID. Okay, so we need to have an ID apparently. Or we don't, or we can say that the flag is allow null ID. Okay. Flag, wait, allow, oops, true, maybe, yeah. And there we go. Okay, so we can draw, I mean, we get this sort of graphic. I guess one challenge is how do we know if we are in a drag state? Because yeah, if I have this here and I want to put it somewhere, maybe I want to hide this large image and show where in the scene it will end up instead. And so when, so maybe there is something, let's see, drag. I wonder what these are, like drag, maybe that's less like an input, drag, float and stuff. So we have, we do have get drag drop payload. I'm not sure if that only is within the context of like a target. Actually, no. I mean, I guess we can try it. So let's go to where are we? Where do we want to handle? I guess here. So let's do drag payload. Get payload. So we do know. So we do. Wait. I'm stupid. Of course, when we're in this if here, we know that we are actually dragging. But how do we know when it ends, though? Well, I guess if we are in here and we release the button, perhaps. Yeah. So yeah, I don't care about this payload then. So let's actually, let's actually add this in the document, scene document. And we'll do like well, I guess I'll call it this for now, and we can change it later. So this would just be an entity type. Or nullable. So it yeah. And then in this if where we were here, we can just say like context, scene document, payload, oops, it's gonna be equal to the tag. Yep. And then when we are in the handle input, we can say if we have a payload, then if mouse, is there like release? Yeah. So the left, if this is released while we have a payload, and this is also while we are not in something that ImGUI is like an ImGUI window or something. This is like on the scene itself. But I realized also that there's gonna be an issue where drag payload can be set to be not null if we drop it in a window. But I'm not gonna care about that right now. So if we do that now, we simply want to set this to null, but we also want to create an entity. So let's create an entity, create this, and we need to import that. And then we also go to NC, entities, and append. Oops. Wait. Oh yeah, because this is a list of pointers. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then we do this. Okay. And we also do catch eligible. Yes. So now we need to set the contents of this entity. do we have? No, we don't have like an init function. So let's just do init. We do id is this. So that will generate a new ID. And maybe that's not what you want, but we'll have it like that for now. And we'll have vector, well, position and the type. Type primitive. Okay, so you can't have that. Entity type, I guess. Okay. But is there a primitive called type? Oh yeah, that's in another context, right? Okay, yeah, whatever. Unused capture payload. Yeah. So now we can go back here and we can say, whoops. We can say scene entity dot init position. So the position we need to calculate. The type is going to be payload. All right. So what is the position? Well, we have the grid position is going to be get grid mouse grid position. So that's just that, and then we can basically say yeah, we'll take that and convert it to pixel coordinates. So I guess it would be nice to have a function for that. Grid to pixel, and I think, yeah, I do believe we need this for now, since we need some stuff for that, like scale and tile size and stuff like that. Wait, no, grid position, this is gonna be, no, but that, I think that's fine. Okay, and then yeah, grid position, and we'll produce a vector. So we're gonna do a scale factor, and this is gonna be scale v times, whoops, the tile size, which is in timelap document dot timelap dot size. And then we just return s times the grid position. Okay. And we go back. And then we have the position. It's going to be grid position, pixels, context, grid position. Oh, this is nullable, okay. So yeah, okay. So I think this one checks if it's like outside of the boundary of the time map. So we don't want that for this, for the scene. We only want that for the tile map, I guess. We could do this. We could do like safe, I guess. And then this. Oops. So, oh yeah, and the time app is time document there. And now this is not null anymore. Or nullable. Okay. And then, yeah, now we need to change all the places where we use this. Okay. Where are we now? Wait, we don't have more errors. So let's start. Oh, we have errors. Unable to up. Oh. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I was still having the program up. Okay. Well. Yeah, okay. So basically, yeah, what was the issue actually? Yeah, I mean, I've added the position now. And entity should be created at the actual position. And we should append it to the entities of the scene. How long did I have that open? I'm not sure. Okay. Oh. Okay. So we do get something here. And I have an inkling that the positioning is a bit off. But it sort of works. Okay, cool. So, but if I drop it here, yeah, you can see there's a little bug there, but I don't care. Okay. And now, yeah, the position is bad. Maybe it's not supposed to be scaled. It's not supposed to be scaled by. Let's actually rename this to entity position actually. So it's like specialized like that, and we don't care about this scale. That's like we scale everything by 4 because we want to show larger pixels basically. Okay, let's see now. Oh hey, yeah, it works. Cool. And yeah, wonder. Yeah, so what I want to do this session as well is when you drag it out, I want to hide this large image and show on the scene where it will end up, so you don't guess where this will end up right now. So let's do that. So if we have a payload, and this is the handle input, so we want to do this where we draw the main thing here. So this will be, it will basically be after all we draw all the entities. We can say if we have a drag payload, yeah, we basically want to, whoops. So we don't basically want to do the same thing, except we don't want to check for mouse released. And let's see. No, we don't want to create an entity. We want to get the grid position. We want to get, wait, this is not correct. We want to do that. And we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. We don't want, okay. So we don't want to do this. But we do have the position now, so we could do I mean, I guess we could just do draw entity context, and then we can just define the entity right here. So we can just say entity initialize and the position and the whoops and the payload, because the payload is the type. Okay, so now we should see the little target where it will end up. There we go. It seems like it's like, yeah, it's like slightly offset. Maybe you do want to have exact precision on where to put it, or at least we should offset the grid a bit to make the tiles actually line up with it. But that's nice, and then we release it and then it shows up there. Okay, and I want to hide the large image as well, so let's see. So I think here, if we are outside of this, that means we're not hovering over IMGUI. And we can say if we have a payload, I wonder what happens if we just say like accept payload, because that will sort of end the thing. What's the payload type? I'm just gonna look at the documentation. So accept payload type. Okay, so that's just a string. I'm just gonna say not used here, and so I'm just gonna accept that, which should remove it. No? Oh, it crashes. Okay. Search. I mean, maybe we need it to be inside of a target. Wait. Didn't I have it here? Okay. I'm just gonna assume that that's the case. So we'll do target. Oh, but I guess it will only go in here if you actually drop it. Yeah. Okay. It's kind of weird how it like crashed. It crashed when I released the button. Oh, drag and drop active. Can I? G. Okay, I'm just gonna see if I can I guess another way would be to sort of implement it yourself instead. It's like a bit of a bummer because I really want to just, or we can just say fuck it and have it like this, I guess. Excuse me. Okay. I want to fix like the slightly offset thing. Maybe even if you hold shift, you can like sort of it won't snap. I mean, that would be easy enough. Draws in documents, yeah. So here it's like, yeah, we get a grid position and then a position. But we could just as well just use, so let's do position if button down, no, key down. Let's do, I guess, shift. If the key is down, we will just do mouse position. Don't need a context. Yeah, that's the position, and then we just return X and Y, because I believe these are, oh, how do I do it here? How I do it like this? No, transform. Oh yeah, we need to do transform as well, that's true. Okay, yeah, so we do need to do these things. Okay. And then we just return this. Int from float ftr. So that will convert it to this type. And now down here we can actually just say the position is going to be get mouse position like this. Well, I mean, it's the mouse position at the sort of not counting the camera. But that's good. Oh, but then this is gonna be integer. integer type now. Well, I guess we can do without. I mean, I guess we could just do this and then say vector int from float. Int from float. Wait, well, what is this? Yeah, that's a vector too. Okay, that's a Rayleigh vector. Okay, so now we have that, and we have this, which is an integer vector. We don't need all this, but we do want to do, let's do it like this, and then float from int mp. Okay, I guess we could make a version that returns a float, I guess, but whatever. So yeah, okay, so now we go back and we say if shift is down, so then we don't want to snap, so we do get mouse position, otherwise we are going to do this part, so we're going to do grid position, get mouse grid position, context. Oh, we need a context there as well. Okay. We need a context here as well. And there. Okay, so now it should be drawn at the correct, or like at the non-snappy position here. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's sort of scaled. Okay. Oh yeah, because the position is scaled when we draw it, I think. Wait. Is it the same? It feels, I don't know. It feels like it scales with the thing here. Yeah, because we want it to be converted. But then when we draw it here, we scale the position by this. Okay, let's just try and divide it then. Wait, but this is correct then. Yeah, this one is correct. So we're dividing by the scale here. Oh yeah. Should we do that here as well? Probably then. We could divide by the scale, but not by the tile size. Which one is this? Oh, that's just the result. Okay. Okay, let's do this. And now we can save that, I believe. Okay, but FTR, it's not called FTR, it's called just oh yeah, so we do need this one still. We could do it like this: tier X, tier Y. Okay, so we're basically, yeah, here we're converting like this is a Rayleigh vector into a sig vector, and then we are dividing not by tile size but by scale V. So I mean, this would just be float from int context scale V. And then the result will be just the mouse position divided by the scale. Okay. But now this one is already that. So now we can do float from int tile size. Okay. And this one you can also do it like this: int from float fp. I mean, you can also just return it as well. There. Okay. Okay, so let's see how that works. Okay, there it looks a lot better. However, when we drop it, it doesn't actually snap to where it still snaps, so we need to fix that as well. So let's go to handle input. And so here we get the position here. So we basically want to do the same thing. Position is going to be if blah 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 there. Okay. Yeah, now we can place it however you want. Nice. Okay. Cool. Yeah, so yeah, we're a bit ways off of having this. sort of fully functional for a first like version. So I won't be getting to do that today, unfortunately, but I will continue working on this throughout the week, yeah, hopefully we will get to a point where we can create our scenes in here and then import them into the game, and we can more easily build these scenes from this thing. So yeah, let's go back to our to-do here. So we actually, yeah, we got like a drag and drop thing working here. Drag and drop entities to create them. Okay. So that's yeah, we did this in it. Well, I say initial version, but we want to also be able to like save and load the scene files, like JSON format. We want to be able to import them into the game. We want to be able to like delete entities and well, to complete this first loop, I guess it's enough to just be able to load it into the game. So I think maybe that's what we want to do next time. But yeah, for now this is going to be it for today. So hope you enjoyed, and thanks very much for watching. And yeah, see you later.